Welcome, intrepid seekers of the unknown, and greetings to those who have returned to delve deeper into the enigmatic realm. Step into the mystic domain of our Cryptic Hunters YouTube page, where curiosity reigns and secrets await. Pull up a stump, dear viewers, for an extraordinary adventure awaits you. Relax, for I shall guide you through the labyrinthine corridors of ancient legends, uncharted territories, and the veiled mysteries that lie just beyond our grasp. Embark upon this captivating journey with me and allow the seductive tales and mind-bending puzzles to transport you to the furthest reaches of your imagination. Embrace the anticipation, for together we shall unravel the tapestry of enigmas that dance in the shadows. Sit back, my friends, and prepare to be mesmerized by the intriguing content that awaits you. Gryla, the ancient terror of Icelandic lore. Today I invite you on a journey through the cold, mystic landscapes of Icelandic folklore to unveil the story of Gryla, a figure as chilling as the winter's night. This legendary giantess, steeped in the cultural fabric of Iceland, is not just a tale for the dark winter nights, but a symbol of centuries-old traditions and beliefs. Our story begins in the depths of Norse mythology, the cradle of Gryla's existence. The earliest mentions of Gryla trace back to the 13th century when she first appears in the Prose Edda, a foundational work of Norse literature. However, her image back then vastly differed from what we know today. Initially, Gryla was not associated with Christmas. She was a fearsome giantess, a creature born from the rugged, volcanic landscapes of Iceland, embodying the harshness of nature and the struggles of survival in the ancient Nordic world. As centuries passed, Gryla's legend evolved, intertwining with Christian beliefs and local superstitions. By the 17th century, she had transformed into a central figure in Icelandic Christmas folklore, a stark contrast to the jolly and benevolent Santa Claus known in other cultures. To understand Gryla's place in history, we must delve into the socio-cultural context of Iceland. In a land where winters were harsh and nights were long, storytelling was not just entertainment, it was a vital part of community bonding and imparting moral lessons. Gryla was a manifestation of the darkness and danger that lurked in the wild, serving as a cautionary tale to children. Her legend also reflects historical attitudes towards women and societal norms. In some interpretations, Gryla was a symbol of the outsider, representing societal fears and the demonization of what was considered abnormal or threatening. Let us now paint a picture of Gryla, as vivid and detailed as the stories told by the fireside in Icelandic homes. Gryla is not a mere giantess. She is a creature of nightmares. Her description varies, but she is often depicted as a gigantic, menacing figure, with an insatiable appetite for misbehaving children. Imagine, if you will, a hulking figure towering over the snowy landscape. Her eyes, sharp and piercing, gleam like coals in the dark. Her nose, hooked and large, sniffs out the scent of children far and wide. Gryla's ears, tattered and sharp, twitch at the slightest whisper of naughtiness. Her enormous, gnarled hands are ready to snatch unsuspecting children to be taken back to her cave. Her cave, a place of terror, is nestled in the Icelandic mountains, hidden from the eyes of the innocent. It is here that Gryla brings her prey, to be cooked into a stew, a terrifying fate for those who dare to disobey. But Gryla is not alone in her malevolence. She is often accompanied by her husband, Lepaludi, a lazy oaf, overshadowed by Gryla's dominant presence. More famous are her children, the Yule Lads, a group of 13 mischievous creatures, each with their unique brand of trouble, ranging from harmless pranks to more sinister deeds. In the end, Gryla is more than just a scary tale. She is a testament to the enduring power of folklore and tradition. Over the centuries, her story has evolved, reflecting changes in societal norms and cultural beliefs. Today, Gryla has transcended her role as a figure of fear to become a beloved part of Iceland's Christmas tradition, a symbol of a time when families gather to share stories and celebrate their heritage. The following stories were curated from around the campfire. I cannot say whether these are true encounter tales or something of fabrication. I will leave these speculations to you, the viewer. If you or anyone you know has a tale to tell, please contact us and we may feature your story on one of our future episodes. A Winter's Tale. My encounter with Gryla. I remember it as though it were yesterday, the winter night that brought me face to face with the fearsome Gryla. I was but a child then, living in a small village nestled among Iceland's snow-capped mountains. Our lives were simple, our joys found in the warmth of our homes and the stories shared by the fireside. Among these tales, none struck more fear into our hearts than that of Gryla, the terrifying ogress who preyed on naughty children. It was the season of Yule, when nights stretched longer than the days, and the air was filled with the anticipation of Christmas. We children were warned to be on our best behavior, for Gryla was said to roam the land searching for her next meal. I, however, was a curious and somewhat reckless child, more intrigued than frightened by the legend. One evening, driven by a daredevil spirit, I ventured out into the snowy wilderness. The moon was full, casting a ghostly glow over the landscape. My heart raced with excitement and fear as I trudged through the thick snow, leaving a trail of footprints behind me. As I ventured deeper into the woods, the silence of the night enveloped me. The only sound was the crunch of snow under my boots, until suddenly I heard something else, a low, guttural growl that seemed to come from all around me. My heart skipped a beat. I froze, straining my ears against the cold night. The growl grew louder and closer. Panic set in, and I turned to run, but it was too late. There, emerging from the shadows, stood Gryla. She was more terrifying than any story had ever described. Towering over me, her eyes glowed like embers in the dark. Her skin was rough and wrinkled, covered in patches of fur and moss. Her large hooked nose sniffed the air, and her mouth twisted into a sinister grin, revealing rows of sharp, jagged teeth.
I stood there, paralyzed with fear, as Gryla spoke in a voice that rumbled like thunder. "Ah, a little one lost in the woods. Have you been naughty or nice?" Her words sent shivers down my spine.
At that moment, my fear was replaced by a strange sense of defiance. "I am not afraid of you," I lied, my voice barely a whisper. Gryla laughed, a sound that echoed through the trees. Brave words for a small child. "But let's see if you're brave enough to listen to my tale." To my surprise, Gryla began to speak of her life, not as the monster of the tales, but as a creature of the earth, born from the very heart of Iceland. She spoke of the centuries she had roamed the land, of the changes she had seen, and of the loneliness that haunted her. As she talked, her voice softened, and for a moment I saw a glimmer of sadness in her eyes. She told me of her children, the Yule Lads, and how they, too, were misunderstood. "We are not just creatures of terror," she said. "We are part of the land, part of its stories and its history." The night wore on, and Gryla's story unfolded a tale of sorrow, longing, and a deep connection to the wild, untamed nature of Iceland. She spoke of the mountains and the rivers, of the northern lights that danced in the sky, and of the hardy people who called this land home. As dawn approached, Gryla stood up, towering over me once more. "It is time for me to go, little one. Remember, not all is as it seems. Fear and understanding are but two sides of the same coin." With that, she turned and disappeared into the forest, leaving me alone in the breaking light of day. I made my way back to the village, a different child than the one who had left. The encounter with Gryla had changed me and opened my eyes to the complexity of our legends and the truths they held. Years have passed since that night, and I have grown old. But the memory of Gryla stays with me, a reminder of the mysteries and wonders of our world. Her story, like so many others, is woven into the tapestry of our folklore, a blend of fear, respect, and awe for the forces of nature that shape our lives. And so, as I sit by the fire and share tales with my grandchildren, I tell them of Gryla not just as the ogress of our nightmares, but as a symbol of our connection to the land and its ancient stories. For in the heart of every legend lies a truth, a lesson to be learned and passed down through the generations. This is my tale, a winter's tale of my encounter with Gryla, the ancient terror of Icelandic lore. The winter I met the Yule Lads. In the heart of an Icelandic winter many years ago, I experienced an adventure that has stayed with me through the seasons of my life. As a child in a small village near the mountains, I had always been fascinated by the tales of the Yule Lads, 13 mischievous brothers who visited children in the days leading up to Christmas. Each brother, with his unique personality and antics, was a vivid character in our winter folklore. It was the year when the snow lay deep and heavy on the ground, transforming our village into a hushed, white world. The nights were long and dark, filled with the crisp, cold air that made your breath turn to mist. Our homes were cozy sanctuaries, lit by the warm glow of fireplaces, and it was here, in the flickering firelight, that our elders would recount the tales of the Yule Lads. One evening, as the first of the Yule Lads was due to arrive, my curiosity got the better of me. Bundling up in my warmest clothes, I slipped out of our house, intent on catching a glimpse of Stykkjarstor, the first to visit. My heart pounded with excitement and a touch of fear as I trudged through the snow, leaving a trail of small, determined footprints. I hadn't walked far when I heard a strange noise, a sort of limping clatter coming from a nearby barn. Peering cautiously inside, I saw him, Stykkjarstor, with his stiff legs, trying to milk the sheep, but mostly just causing a ruckus. He was as peculiar as the story said, and when he noticed me, he gave a mischievous wink before disappearing into the night. Night after night I ventured out, and each time I met another Yule Lad. There was Giljagor, who hid in the gullies, waiting to sneak into cowsheds and steal the milk. Stufr, the smallest, had a fondness for scraping the crusts off pans. Potaskifil, with his obsession with leftover pots, made me laugh as he tried to carry pots twice his size. The days passed, and I met more brothers. Askas Leikir, who snatched leftovers from under the beds. Hurdaskelir, who slammed doors in the dead of night, startling us all. Skirgamur, with his insatiable appetite for skiri, and Bugnakrakir, who pilfered sausages with an almost admirable skill. Each Yule Lad was unique, from Kertasnikir, who followed children to steal their candles, to Gatathafur, with his nose so big he sniffed out all the holiday treats. I even caught sight of Ketkrokur, using a hook to steal meat, and Glugagegir, who peered through windows searching for things to steal. But it was on the eve of the last Yule Lad's arrival that my adventure took an unexpected turn. I was waiting to meet Kertasnikir when I suddenly found myself surrounded by all 13 brothers. They were not fearsome as in the tales, but rather mischievous and full of laughter. The Yule Lads gathered around me, their eyes twinkling with a friendly light. They told me stories of their adventures, of the mountains where they lived with their mother, Gryla, and the mischief they had caused over the centuries. They spoke of the changing times, how they had once been feared, but now brought delight to children with their antics. As dawn approached, the Yule Lads prepared to leave. They turned to me, their expressions growing serious. "Remember, young one," they said, "we are more than just characters of folklore. We are a reminder of the magic and mystery of winter, of the joy and warmth that comes from sharing stories and traditions." With a final wave, they vanished into the early morning light, leaving me standing alone, filled with wonder and a new understanding of the legends I had grown up with. I returned home, my heart full of stories and secrets that I would carry with me. The Yule Lads had shown me the magic that lies in our traditions, in the tales passed down from generation to generation. They were not just figures of mischief, they were symbols of the joy and wonder of our Icelandic winters. As the years passed and I grew older, the memory of that magical night stayed with me. Now, as I sit by the fire and recount tales to my grandchildren, I tell them of my encounter with the Yule Lads, of the laughter and lessons they brought. For in every tale there is a truth, a spark that lights the dark winter nights, and in the heart of every child there's a place for the Yule Lads, those mischievous brothers who remind us of the wonder and joy of the Yuletide season. This is my tale, a tale of the winter I met the Yule Lads, a story of magic, mischief, and the enduring spirit of our Icelandic folklore. As our time together draws to a close, fellow seekers, we extend our deepest gratitude for joining us on this captivating expedition into the realms of the cryptic. We hope these tales and puzzles have ignited a flame of curiosity within your very being, leaving you yearning for more. Remember, the enigmatic path never truly ends, as there are always new secrets waiting to be unraveled. So until our paths intertwine once again, may your days be filled with a sense of wonder and adventure. Also, please subscribe, like, and follow if you have enjoyed this content. Farewell for now, dear viewers, and may your journeys through the cryptic cosmos be forever filled with awe-inspiring discoveries. Safe travels, and may the enigma forever be at your side.